Okay, let's talk about the OnePlus Nord. This is a phone that is very easy to like, very easy to recommend. I think a lot of reviewers are going to be crowning the OnePlus Nord as like the best Android smartphone in this kind of price point. In the $400 or $500 price point, this is the king for 2020. It's that good. And if you look at the performance to the price, nothing really beats it. There's stuff that's comparable, right? A lot of people are bringing up, phone X, phone Y. It's got similar hardware, but if you're looking for something that has really clean software, great support, years of software support, this kind of sticks out as being something special. It's so good to the point where even its own brother or cousin, like the OnePlus 8, the regular OnePlus 8, this looks weirdly overpriced in comparison to the OnePlus Nord. So the way I'm going to do this video is I'm going to do a mini review of this phone, and then I want to talk about a purchase decision because there's stuff I want to talk about. All right, let's talk about the good first. The screen, 90 Hertz, super fluid, very fast, flat edges. There's no accidental misclicks or swipes like I frequently get on the OnePlus 8 Pro. The build is good. It feels very OnePlus, like the actual heft and weight of the device feels good, feels like a solid device, but it definitely looks less premium to me. Like the texture on the side trim, like it's a plastic trim, so there's just a bit of a kind of wobble to the finish. It's not like a perfectly smooth finish like it would be if it was metal, and it just gives this slightly less premium look to it if you're being picky and if you're looking for it. But the actual build of the phone seems quite good for one with a plastic frame. The back material is glass, and I like it. I don't think that there's kind of issues with a plastic framed phone like this, at least not structurally. It's never going to be as strong as a metal phone, for sure, right? But I think they did good for a $450 phone. The battery on this thing is excellent. It charges up really fast. It took just over 50 minutes to go from 0 to 100%, like the full fill up. And the screen on time, 9, maybe 10 hours some days. It's just a very comfortable full day battery. The processor. So this was where I thought there'd be some deficiencies, but it is quite hard to notice a difference. Like, this is from someone who's looking for differences, right? So there's the occasional hiccup when you're watching embedded videos on certain websites. Like if you're on Reddit and you're scrolling and there's a video playing, sometimes it can stutter for a split second. And for gaming, I thought there'd be a more noticeable difference. Like when they mentioned that the Snapdragon 765, you would notice it most in 3D games, you can notice it, but it's not like the games are unplayable. Like, I'd be very content playing most games on this phone. The Snapdragon 765 is perfectly good. So some things I don't like, the mono speaker, I mentioned this in my preview, but it's something that I personally value. Like, I like my stereo sound when I'm using my phone in landscape, and you don't get it with this phone. It doesn't have wireless charging, doesn't have any water resistance. It's not the biggest deal, but I do miss wireless charging in particular. And I don't like the vibration motor. It's quite weak. So if you're someone who prefers strong haptic feedback on their phone, you'll be a little bit disappointed with the one on the OnePlus Nord. All right, camera system. This is, it's a fairly good camera system. I don't think it was something that was unexpected, right? I think that the photos that are coming off this thing are pretty much what I would have expected from a $400 or $500 OnePlus phone. Now, OnePlus is marketing it as a flagship camera. It's the headlining feature they have on their website, but when you put it against some legit flagship cameras, it doesn't really hold up. The images are very similar to the OnePlus 8. I'd say it's a bit softer, and the colors look a little flatter on the Nord. The ultra-wide camera isn't as good to me, so the images look more washed out here. It's nice to have, like I always prefer ultra-wides over zooms, but the actual image quality on this ultra-wide sensor isn't fantastic. I think the OnePlus 8 shoots better ultra-wides than the Nord, and same thing goes for the 8 Pro and like the iPhone 11, obviously. Those shoot noticeably better ultra-wides than the Nord. The low-light photos are pretty good. I actually think that the night shot photos are cleaner on the Nord than the OnePlus 8. I was a little surprised by that. The photos just keep a lot of the detail even in really dark conditions. Now, the macro lens, the third lens going down, is terrible. Like if you look at the OnePlus 8 Pro, those macro photos are fantastic. That's like top tier macro photography on a smartphone. Compared to this thing, the Nord, it's just really bad. And take a look at this photo. This was done on the Pixel 3a. It's using their AI zoom feature, but you can get pretty good detail to the same kind of zoom as the macro lens on the OnePlus 8 Pro. Not as good as the 8 Pro, but noticeably better than this 2 megapixel sensor garbage on the OnePlus Nord. I can't help but imagine an alternate scenario where the OnePlus Nord, instead of having 6 cameras, had 3, maybe even just 2 cameras, one on the front, one in the back. Forget zooms and ultra wides, just one really good sensor. So the camera system on the OnePlus Nord is good, but I would consider it to be like a B tier camera system. It's not on par with like a Pixel or the iPhone 11s or the P40 Pro from Huawei or even its own OnePlus 8 Pro. Those are all truly flagship camera systems. This is not. So if you're in the market and you're looking for this phone and you want to buy it, or you've pre-ordered it, or you plan on pre-ordering it, the camera system is what it is. Just be aware of what you're getting. And if it's legitimately important to you, like if photography is something that's very valuable to you, I would look somewhere else. As attractive as this phone is for its price point, I'd go for like a Pixel 3a or even the upcoming 4a, because those take better photos. Okay, there's one other thing I want to talk about. It just popped into my mind just before I hit record on the camera here. It was the idea of like, what's next? How does OnePlus position their upcoming OnePlus 9 or OnePlus 9 Pro? Like if you take, like this is so good, and it makes other phones look weirdly overpriced, right? How do you sell a OnePlus 9 or a OnePlus 9 Pro in the future alongside this phone? That's only in like, I don't know, 6-7 months. It's not super far away. It just popped into my mind. I'm like, how are they going to do it? What do you think? What do you think is going to be the distinguishing feature between the 9s, like the 9 and the 9 Pro, and the Nord? Do you think it's like just camera system? Because like that's the biggest difference right now, right? At least between the 8 Pro and the Nord. How do they do it? Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. I'll see you guys next time.